Congratulations to you and Borry and Fredo, because man, it's been super, super successful. I was one of the early
Yeah,
listeners and early adopters and Patreon members. Is the success of that, is it exceeded your expectations? Was that what you planned?
yeah. Look, it Moto PG podcast started literally out of a drunken lunch. It was a bunch of us having lunch in a Serbian restaurant in Newtown
Yep.
that Boris took us to, and it was hilarious because Serbian restaurants, all there is sausages and potatoes and beer. So we were all drunk and carrying on, and it was a really good fun afternoon. There's four or five of us, and then the next day, Fredo rang me and Borry and said, "Look, I need to talk to you guys about something that's really important." And we were like, okay, no worries. So we got together for another lunch at a pub, and and he said, "There's a show in you two." And Fredo's background is in TV. He said, "There's a show in you two in what you two do." And like, what are you talking about? Like he said, "No, lunch was hilarious." He said, "If we can put that into a show," and I'm like, you've got your producer brain switched on and it's not working right. Like
Yep.
like look at the two of us. We're the ugliest men on earth. You can't put us on television. And he said, I know, we can't put you on TV, but maybe a podcast. And I'd never listened to a podcast. I knew what they were, but I'd never actually listened to one. And we were like, you're crazy. And he went and found a producer and a studio for us to record in. And those first few ones we did were pretty rough. They were pretty shitty. But we kind of thought,
Listen to them.
yeah, and I was actually recovering. I had a brain injury about 18 years ago, and I had a bit of a recurrence of that just before we started doing the podcast. So I couldn't speak properly. I was sort of struggling to talk, and so we made the joke that I was just drunk all the time, and so we just kind of worked with it. And yeah, we honestly thought we'd do three episodes and then it'd disappear off the face of the earth, and we'd just laugh about what a stupid idea that was, and then it just suddenly started to take off, and
Mm.
the numbers now, like we're heading towards 1 million downloads now. We've done 150 something
That's for every
episodes.
episode.
No, that's total. So, but still, it's like our producer is like, that's unheard of. Like he
Big
produces
number.
20, 30. Yeah, they're big numbers. And it's, and the thing is, the industry likes it because it sells. Like the
Right.
people, the sponsors that support us when they advertise with us, we sell shit for them, and but we won't advertise anything we don't believe in, which is why when, for example, you've been using the custom cockpits thing. When those guys came on and sponsored the show, we said, look, that's fine. And I looked at it and thought, I understand what this thing's about. The other two boys are like, I don't know idea. But I was like, I understand what this thing's about and I can see how it can work.
Mm.
But I said to them, I want you to give it to some people, like, which is why we hooked you up with them, and also a guy who races over in WA. And so I want you to give it to some guys and get them to come back to us and tell us whether it works or not. And because we're not going to just push it and say it works if we don't know.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's the same with the bike manufacturers and everybody else who advertises on the show. We vet them. Like we won't advertise anything where we don't know the product and we don't believe in the product. Um, but yeah, like even Ali will tell us you guys sell bikes. Like we advertise with you because you sell bikes. But it's
Well, the way you present it, it's very, very clever. It's like I was thinking about it last time I listened, where you go through your different sections or parts of the podcast, and then there's an advertisement for the sponsor of that podcast and that. But it does not come across as an advertisement. It comes across as a funny, like story about it.
yeah.
And
Well,
even
one of our rules with the sponsors is we do the ads. Like you
right,
can give us
right.
some content, but we do it and we do it our
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And if you don't like it, that's just bad luck. Because like the noise guard guys, I
It's
mean,
hilarious, isn't it?
yeah, like we
Cheryl.
oh yeah, poor Cheryl. We do it in Cheryl's voice, and um yeah, Cheryl's one of our wonderful listeners in the UK, but occasionally I pretend to be Cheryl. And anyway, it's all a laugh, but we're lucky. We've got sponsors who get what we are and what we
Yep.
do, and they appreciate it. And surprisingly, even Dorna seems quite happy about it. We always thought that at some point we'd get a letter from Dorna saying, "Stop it, or we'll take your houses." You can't make money out of our sport this way. And but I think from Dorna's perspective, I think they're happy we do what we do because we talk to the market for them in a way that they can't. They know motorcycle fans are. We swear, we make bad jokes, we have a laugh. It's all good fun. We'll poke fun at people and whatever. And Dorna gets that, but they can't do it in their corporate marketing.
No.
They have to be pretty straight up and down. And whereas for them to have podcasts like us out there talking to another market that they can't reach with their marketing spend and bringing them into the sport, I think it's great for the sport. So, and I mean, we do cross a few lines, which is why we call ourselves Moto PG. Which probably should have called ourselves Moto R, probably.
I saw the PG, like parental guidance was. I thought that's very, very appropriate. But
Yeah.
that was the background of the PG, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that came out of so that very first meeting we had. Well, what are we going to call this thing? And we're like, oh, can't call it Moto anything to do with Moto GP because we'll get sued. And then and then I can't remember which one of us it was that came up with the Moto PG, but that came out almost instantaneously. And then it was like, oh yeah, we'll use the PG logo and parental guidance because we're going to swear and shit. And it literally, there was that much thought put into it. It was literally that.
It's
So,
brilliant.
oh
It's
yeah,
dead set brilliant.
yeah. We've just done a new logo. We just decided that the logo needed an update, but that was the one thing that we couldn't change was that little PG thing had to still be there. That's what everyone recognizes now, so that has to stay.